One may be interesting. One of my dad's neighbors gave him this little baby, Honda EG 2500, non-runner, sort of. Dad said he went through it and there was oil in it. Fuel was bad, so he put some new fuel in it and he sprayed some fuel into the carburetor and fired it up and it would run. But the main issue, so checked the spark plug and it was pretty black, so he cleaned it. The main issue is, let's see, I got a fuel cutoff here. And when you turn the fuel on, it starts leaking out of the bowl in the back. And I'm not sure exactly what's going on with that. So we're going to start taking this little bugger apart to see, fix it. And I'm betting there is. So the first thing we got, take the air cleaner off. Filter used to have a foam wrap around it, but that doesn't seem to be there right now. I'm going to get a little bucket and put under here, because we've got a drain, the bowl remover, and then we got this little bottom of the valve here. This is the bottom of the shutoff valve. I'm wondering if that shutoff valve has just failed, or if there's a float in there, or what, because that's where the fuel's coming from. Whew, boy, new gas hasn't gotten to the bowl, that's for sure. Phew, that's terrible. But I'm gonna go get a maybe a 10 millimeter, see what we got. All right, so it is a 10 millimeter. Not sure what this does, but it's connected to the fuel shutoff. Still kind of varnishy. Let's see what happens when we do this. Okay. That's just kind of a primary fuel bowl, which is interesting. A little bit of gunk in it. We'll clean that out. So now, drain the regular bowl. It's still pretty gross. Pop this off. Fuel is a fairly ugly brown green, so I don't think we've gotten to the new stuff yet. Oh dear. That may be our problem. Yeah, I'll bet that needle and seat is not doing what it's supposed to do. Yeah, this is pretty darn crusty. Let me get you in there. Let's see if we can see what we got here. And that's the fuel. That's the bowl. And that's our float. So this has got to be the problem. It's the needle and seat is stuck. So I'm going to try to clean that a little bit and see if it comes apart like a... Yeah, there it goes. Now it's moving. But either the float has sunk and is not closing it off, or something. But that whole little thing needs to come out. I think I may pull the whole carburetor off, because that's just these two screws here and this, and then that whole carburetor will come off. I think that's what I'm going to do now, because then I can do this not upside down. So, yeah, apparently red Solo Cup's not good for gasoline. We didn't want that anyway. Who knew? I'm gonna go get a rag. Boy, I burned my truck down. Crisis averted. I don't remember having cracked that one loose, and it was loose. So that was probably not helping much. Air intake looks pretty good. Nice gasket, metal with a O-ring. That's nice. Issue I'm going to have is, as soon as I disconnect the fuel line, it's going to drain. Do that. It does not appear to be any other shutoffs on this fuel tank. So we're going to get something to prop this up and see if maybe we can keep it from draining as bad. Because what we have here, that has to get disconnected, and then as it comes out, this governor rod, you can see you can pivot it around into that notch and then pop it out as you take the thing out. Same thing with that spring. And then the carburetor will be free to come off of the machine. So. Alright, so we got the stupid little clamp up and out of the way, which I don't think is really doing much. Now we're going to try to get this hose off. Farking up the gasket. Don't do that. I'm going to end up having to make a new gasket. Goes, and here comes the fuel. There. Okay, and we'll see if we can there we go, get that off. Seriously? You actually did that. One would think, I suppose, that those must be studs, as I really don't want to take the entire engine out. So let's try to loosen these and see if it'll come out that way. All right, I may not be the king of noticing things, but I think this top part comes off. Honda. Okay, so now we have our carburetor and our crummy gasket that I'm going to have to make. But what I will be able to do, take this off. Anything else is going to fall off. Doesn't appear to. What I should be able to do now is pressurize this with some air on the way in, clean this, put this back, and see if I can clean that needle and seat somehow. There we go. And she is pretty horrible. So, and I don't know if you can see down in there, there's a load of crud down in there where the needle would have, where the seat would have to be, and where the needle goes. So I'm gonna go see if I have some carb cleaner. See if we can blow this thing out. Most likely I'll be able to screw this back in here, pressurize it, blow all this out, then clean this, because it doesn't look too bad and it still moves freely. It's just kind of gunked up. But so that's what we're going to go do now. We're going to go get the picks and needles and carb cleaner and see if we can dissolve some of this gunk. Starting to make some progress, but It's going slow. Sorry about that. One thing I notice I need to do is I need to pull the idle needle out right here because there's a port here that I don't know where it goes. That may be plugged, but internally there's another port that goes down into this jet. Looks like I may be able to unscrew it to really blow it out, but we will see. Yeah, she's coming. It's getting a little cleaner. Back in a few. So apparently that jet can be screwed out. So that's what we're doing. Just a plug. Interesting. There is a hole down there, though. Aha! There we go. Now we're cooking. So that's actually the hole. Not exactly sure what that's for. That's some sort of a bleeder, because that's on the air side. By the looks. Yeah, that's on the air side, so that's some sort of a bleeder. Now we got that all cleaned out. Should be in pretty good shape, which is nice. I think we're getting there. Have to get a little bit of sandpaper maybe to scuff this varnish off. Man, this stuff is tough. Stuff is nasty. That's what happens when things sit for a long time without being used with fuel in them. Not much you can do about it. Alright, that looks pretty good. So I still need to take this out. That will allow me to pop this out. And this is that same stupid bleeder on my little ones that doesn't allow it to breathe properly, and it'll cause an idle surge. So now, all right, there we go. Good. Got all that purged out. So there is no hole here. That is a plug, so they were allowed to, that allowed them to drill in to make that port. But that's a port that goes from under that jet through to the bottom. So that's pretty good. Make sure that's blown out. That's a very, very small hole, but it seems like it's good right now. So we'll put you back together. Put this stop back in. Maybe. Goes. Hope. Yep. That's better. Okay, so now this is all pretty well blown out. Going to investigate the bottom of this plug. See if there might be a jet hole in that. Ooh, there could be. Yes, there is. There is a jet hole in this plug, by the looks. Yep, there is a very fine hole in the bottom of that plug. So that needs to be unplugged. Now, try to clean this out a little better. Put you back in. Yep, she's working. All right. So, all of that is basically clean now. And what I need to do is concentrate a little bit on this. Whew, that's sandy. Man, that is gritty as heck. Look at all that shiny garbage on there. I don't know what that means when you have that much metal in the fuel. That's something different. Normally it's in the oil. But I'll take fuel because it's probably not as bad as it would otherwise be. Alright, let's try to put that back together. And then we've got the little rod that came out. Come on. There you go. Now what I need to see is if that's even capable of closing this off. So before I clean this, I'm going to screw this back on here a little bit. What the heck? not getting any fuel in the fuel port. Something has plugged up. That's interesting. Oh, dummy. Turn it on! You're an idiot. Oh well, now I can get a mouthful of brake clean. Yay! Seems to be working. That's nice. Okay, so now, last couple of things. We're going to clean out these two disgusting pieces of garbage. Try to put her back together and see if she'll run. Alright, so had a ton of dirt crap come out of there. Now we're in pretty good shape, I think. So put this back on. Put this back on. And now we're going to have to go do a little diddling around while I probably have to remake a gasket. So give me a couple of minutes. As a reference, what this gasket is doing is it's providing the overflow a path out through the gasket, and somehow, anyway. But yeah, that's the fuel overflow, and that's where it was leaking when it was fouled up. So actually, I just noticed one thing that I haven't taken apart yet, and it's this adjustment screw, but that I probably can get from the outside if I have to. I'm gonna go see if I can make a gasket. Oh man, come on. Yeah. Jesus. Yeah. Grief. Well, I just put it on there without it overflowing. It seems to have held. So get this back on. I want to get this carburetor closed up because I use the original gasket and some former gasket to make it work. So I want to get it on there so it seals, at least short term. Oop. You forgot the other gasket, dummy. Let's see, how does this work? Okay. That way. That's a little better. Well, we're not raining out of the fuel bowl anymore, which is a plus. So I'm going to try to get that clamp back on that fuel line, and then we may be ready to try firing this thing up. So we will see. Okay, so I was told it had oil in it, but we will double check. Looks like it does. Some fuel. Doesn't smell too horrible. Light fire. On. Choke. Fuel. I love free stuff. So there she is. 2 pulls. Shut the fuel off, and now we'll just put a little stay-bill in it, maybe run it for a little while, test the electrics, and we are got a little generator. Pretty neat. Very nice. So, all right, well, it's what you can do when you're bored and somebody gives you something they can't figure out. So take it apart, clean it. So if you saw any of the tools I used on this, trying to get this mess working, I'll have those available on my Amazon affiliate page. I do appreciate all the support for everybody for watching these videos and maybe buying things through that. It does help out the channel. So there you go. Nice free generator. So hope you all have a good day. Take care.